Hey guys, welcome to Time to Drop Fall into Poison. This is a kinetic visual novel, which means there's not very many choices to choose from, and I'm pretty sure it's pretty straightforward. It's a horror visual novel, so there's going to be some crazy stuff in it, I'm expecting. There are different endings, but so I don't know, I guess there's going to be ways to choose. I'm not really sure. Anyway, ooh, I got an achievement for that. Might as well click on everything, I guess. Maybe I'll get stuff. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna start. This is part 1, and I will be reading out loud the text, so if you're not a fan of reading out loud stuff, then I guess you gotta find a different video. Alright, here we go. Before she realized it, the girl was standing before an imposing door. The girl occasionally came to Manton Aquarium alone. She watched the manta rays, she watched the jellyfish, and finally she decided it was time to go home. Where is this? She had her doubts, but there should be nothing else there except for the aquarium. She assured herself that she had probably wandered off onto a side path. The door before her had a large padlock hanging from it. Just as she had heard, it was unlocked and merely dangling there. Gulp. The girl drew in a breath. Being locked would usually mean it was a place that she shouldn't enter. Being open just meant that a staff member had forgotten to lock it, so going in was out of the question. Her curiosity piqued. She was past the point of persuasion. Her imagination ran wild, and her mind raced at the prospect of what might lie beyond the door. Just for a little bit. She opened the door and saw lots of glass tanks. Several types of fish hailing from the deep seas, from football fish and oarfish to pelican eels and barrel eyes, were swimming about. Why isn't this an exhibit? She thought it over, wondering why this would be in a closed-off area. Behind her, the door shut on its own. The girl spaced out, staring at the deep sea fish swimming about. They would leap from the tank and swim in mid-air. The entirety of the room was the fish and their ocean. Though it was an unnatural occurrence, the girl treated it as quite normal. Wasn't there originally a deep-sea fish booth that was shut down? She suddenly remembered. At that moment, her surroundings were dyed a deep red. The water in the tanks, the fluorescent lights, all of it was red. The girl's vision also became red. When she opened her eyes, the girl was back in her own room. It was well into the night. She couldn't remember how she had gotten home after all of that. But more importantly, she had a bad feeling about something else. It isn't red here. She became aware of how hard it suddenly was to breathe. No matter how hard she gasped, she was unable to get oxygen into her body. Like the fish who couldn't breathe anywhere but in the water, she couldn't breathe unless she was inside that red color. She was convinced. On impulse, she threw open the window, leaned out, and thrust a hand outside. She couldn't inhale the wind flooding her room. She could only smell its milky, unpleasant scent. More... At that moment, the girl's body was tossed into the air. For just a second, her body seemed to float like a fish in the sea. Her room was on the 12th floor of her apartment building. In her fading consciousness, the girl watched her blood flow endlessly from her body. It's red. Only then could she breathe. Now everything would be fine. The girl smiled. The full moon in the night sky smiled too. Drip, drip. The sound of falling drops. The moon was concealed behind the clouds, and all the lights in the town were covered in water, the sound of it the only thing left to resonate. She couldn't tell whether it was hot or cold, merely that the humid air was encircling her. Drip, drip. Wherever they were falling to, wherever they were coming from, the drops just continued to trickle out. That single drop. I stopped it with both hands. The sound of that solitary red drop. Or at least there's an urban legend that goes like that. Talking about Manton Aquarium again? That's your new thing, isn't it? While stuffing her lunch into her mouth, Tamagawa Himino spoke, her eyes sparkling. I had no idea which point in the story got her so excited. That's right. Isn't this the scariest part? That the girl jumped to her death, smiling, after coming back from Manton Aquarium. It's pretty bad. Yet you don't seem the least bit scared, Himino. That's not true. I've got chills running down my spine. Someone who's got chills running down her spine wouldn't be eating a pastry so cheerfully. And hey, that's my meatball. During a break in the conversation, Himino stole a side dish from my box lunch. This minced meat from growing calves and little piglets. It's the best. Why do you have to put it like that? Jeez, why'd you have to make me lose my appetite? I'll give you the rest of it. Alright, I'll take it. Himino takes the rest of the meatballs from my lunch with amazing rhythm. The reason that I, Nakanobi Mayumi, lost my appetite wasn't because Himino's story scared me. Manton Aquarium and I are connected in a way that I'd rather not think about. Of course, Himino has no idea about that connection. If she knew, she'd never mention Manton Aquarium around me again. At the same time, I've been afraid that this thing might cause Himino to stop talking to me. Himino is pretty much my only friend. It isn't that I haven't talked to anyone since entering junior high, just that the only person I can actually call a friend is Himino. Seriously, I think this whole Manton Aquarium rumor obsession is getting to be a bit much. Maybe there's so many rumors though, like that there's a man's ghost in the tanks at the deep sea fish booth that's only open on a full moon, that the water changes into blood, or that you can hear crying from behind the tanks. Ah, that earlier one goes with this one also. Wait, which one? Crap. Is Himino? Crap, I was reading the wrong voice. No, that's fine. You don't need to say any more, I say firmly, causing Himino to make a sour face. Soon after, Himino changes the subject, first to a TV drama that aired the night before, then to some cute fake nails with cats on them she found in a magazine. She then talks about a classmate who was dating a boy from a nearby private school, alighting on one subject before quickly changing to the next. Normally the subject of Manton Aquarium shouldn't have popped up again. Anyway, getting back to what we were talking about earlier. Huh? What exactly were we getting back to? Manton Aquarium! I looked into it, and this Sunday will be a full moon. Huh? That was all I could say. The rest of my words were unable to come out. So we should go and see if the rumors are true or not. But I know you aren't interested in stuff like urban legends, Mayu, but next week we'll start preparing for the end of the semester, and I won't be able to hang out with you. Lately we haven't gone anywhere together, have we? If the full moon was next Sunday, I'm sure Himino wouldn't have said anything. But I suspect because it happens to be this Sunday and next week happens to be exams, she's chosen Manton Aquarium. I know that I'm not hiding my confusion or my hesitation very well. Even so, Himino turns her carefree grin my way. Since an aquarium, even if the rumors aren't true, we can still have fun, right? Well, that's true. Usually anywhere I go with Himino, I have fun. Whether or not we'd have fun was not what I was worried about. By the way, Mayu, in the east building of Manton Aquarium, they have a Haagen-Dazs. As in the Eden restaurant? They had closed up at one point, but it looks like they're reopening for a limited time. Really? Really? They have the cookies and cream flavor you like too. Mayu. Of course I didn't hesitate, but in the end, that settles it. Then we'll go, as long as we definitely get some cookies and cream. Saying you have no money because you did too much shopping is out of the question. I know. After all, I'm something of a glutton myself. Fine, fine. In the end, we settle on Manton Aquarium and ice cream for Sunday. Since I have already received my reward money for moving on to the next grade, I don't need to worry about allowance. Still, it's been 5 years. Did you say something, Mayu? Nope, nothing. I bite my tongue, covering the words I had carelessly spilled out. I'm looking forward to the aquarium. It's probably been about 10 years. I'm looking forward to the cookies and cream. It's probably been about 10 years. That's not true. It's the truth. That's the only thing I'll eat there. Himino goes, "You little," as she playfully stretches my cheeks. The end of lunch chime sounds and Himino goes back to her own seat. If it's with Himino, I'll be fine. That's what I told myself at the time. Oh man, I hope Himino lives. She's so adorable and cute and perky. And pink carrot. Sunday is 3 days after that. The day I promised to go with Himino to Manton Aquarium has arrived. We are to meet at noon at the Mantoncho station. As is customary for me, I arrive 30 minutes early. Leaning against a pillar, I do nothing but space out. Tons of people pass it for me. Manton is really crowded on days off. Even so, there aren't really that many families or groups of students, everyone around me appearing to be adults. Because of that, I quickly begin to feel uneasy. Within this crowd, I am alone. Inexplicably, my head begins to hurt. I wonder if Himino will be here soon. I mutter to myself, then look at my shoes. Deep blue sandal boots that were this year's newest product. When Mom and I had stopped off at a department store on Saturday, she bought them for me, after some coaxing on my part. They were far from what you'd call high quality, but they were still a bit pricey in a junior high schooler's allowance. I'm not usually the type to beg, but I couldn't take my eyes off these boots. My mom bought them with almost no resistance, saying, "You're going out of town, so you need to look your best." I liked both their form and their color, and found them a better fit for the summer season than anything else. I take my cell phone out and check the time. There are still 15 minutes to go until we're to meet. Since Himino is always 3 minutes later than the time we establish, I've got about another 20 minutes. I finished reading my paperback on the train, so I have nothing to kill time with. There's nothing I can do about it, so I decide to keep myself from boredom by watching the people passing by. If I don't keep myself distracted, horrible thoughts will revive in my mind. I'm always worrying about what will happen if I'm late, though. It had actually been about a month and a half since Himino and I had gone out. We always talked at school, but rarely spent time together afterwards. Anyone who saw us probably thought we were opposites. Outings like this aside, I often spend my days off at home. When I was in elementary school, our family would go out often, but lately, that's been limited to dining out on Saturdays. So when I'm asked what I do when I stay at home, I usually just say I do nothing. Doing homework and watching TV is stuff that seems pretty common to me. On the other end of the spectrum is Himino, who goes out regularly. I often hear stories of when she went to karaoke on weeknights or about how she traveled out of town on Sundays. She's a member of an active sports club and often wants to hang out with them afterwards. Going out of town on the already limited days we have off tends to make me think, even though it's a day to rest, I don't feel rested at all. In other words, something like this is a difference between Himino and I. Without much common ground between us, why we became friends is... Suddenly, the light fades from my vision. It wasn't just that it had become dark, but that I had the sensation of being unable to breathe. But rather than sweating it, I get a little mad. Sorry. Hearing my wordless protest, Himino pulled her hands away. I get playing the who am I game while covering someone's eyes, but covering up someone's mouth too is just like Himino. When I puff out my cheeks and object, Himino just smiles at me. It's because you were staring into space, Mayu. Oh. Instead of apologizing, Himino blew on the nape of my neck. Without thinking, I made a weird sound. Embarrassed, I looked around 2 or 3 times, but the pedestrians walking by seemed unperturbed and didn't even look our way. The culprit who had surprised me moves in front of me before I realize it. You're mean, Himino. But I got to hear something good. No, you didn't. Moreover, As I say that, I check the time on my smartphone. It's 3 minutes to noon, our agreed upon meeting time. It's not time yet. How rare. That's rude. Jeez. I'll make you make a weird noise again. Saying that, Himino opens and closes her fingers in small, swift, grasping motions. At times like this, I know I had better change the subject or get messed with by Himino again. Oh, by the way, did you buy a new one? You mean my necktie? Yeah, I did. I thought I should get one to match my shorts. You and I haven't hung out since around midterms, Mayu. If I buy something today, I'll really be out of money. What about the aquarium? You're still set on finding out about the urban legends then? Of course. That's my #1 goal. But as usual, I can't count the things I want to do on just one hand. Okay, I get it. As long as I get to eat cookies and cream, that is absolute. I haven't forgotten. Anyway, Mayu, aren't your sandals new? Himino says as she looked at my feet, talking about 3 times as fast as she does in class. Yeah, nice, aren't they? They're super cute. How cool, I want a pair too. Nope, then we'll be too similar, and these are the only pair of sandals I have for the summer. Talking like this, it put me at ease. Unlike myself, who is childish, Himino knows a lot about fashion and trends. Even here in Manton, it seems like she blends in. Most importantly, by being with Himino and constantly chatting, I no longer feel lonely. Oh yeah, Himino, why did you bring such a huge bag? I'm glad you asked. With a hee-hee. Himino opens the Boston bag she had let sink down from her shoulder. A variety of things come out, such as a flashlight, insect repellent, a simple blanket, a first aid kit, matches, and snacks like chocolate and cookies. What is all this, Himino? Where do you plan on going? Ignoring the twitch developing in my face, Himino thumps her chest. Geez, to the aquarium! But since we're investigating urban legends, we should at least have some supplies. Rather than an investigation, the equipment she has reminds me of more of going camping in the mountains. The snacks and blanket aside, where in a city this size would we need insect repellent or a flashlight? I keep those feelings to myself and just smile. I let out a breath that is half exasperated, half amused. I don't get sick of being with Himino. Whether Himino's aware of my exasperated gaze or not, she starts to take something out, then quickly shoves it back in. She gives me a smile and playing some secret. No wait, it's too soon for you to see that. What were you about to pull out? I'm not telling! Upon saying that, Himino quickly closes the bag. The way I see it, it is a wonder she fit all the supplies she had out just a moment ago. I wonder where it's all being stored. By the way, no club today? I ask with the underlying question of whether or not today is a day off for the club. At my question, Himino averts her eyes. No, probably. No club today. Really? Giving a brief answer, I start walking. Upon hearing her reply, I immediately understand it as, she skipped it again. But not wanting to ruin the merry mood, I merely quicken my pace. I'm not in any clubs, but even I know it's not good to skip. Speaking honestly, I want her to show up for her club, as she seems to be respected even by students from other schools. Coming here together like this makes me equally guilty, though. Once I get thinking, I don't usually stop, so the conversation shifts to a ramen shop that catches my eye. Oh, Mayu, do you want to get lunch? Huh? You caught that? Feeling as if she had seen right through me, we head into a nearby coffee shop. It is apparently famous following its coverage in a magazine. That's a real that's okay. It is apparently famous following upon its coverage in a magazine for a sandwich that was overflowing with vegetables. I say apparently because on excitedly finding the restaurant, Himino shared this. Compared to a hamburger shop, this place is a bit intimidating and trendy to me, but since I'm with Himino, it doesn't bother me. Shoving the roast chicken sandwich with extra olives I ordered into my mouth, the unease I have been feeling disappears. In contrast to my fervor, Himino eats her avocado and shrimp sandwich in small bites. Well then, about our plans for today. Himino starts as soon as we have finished eating. We'll start with the aquarium. No matter what, that's the main thing. So we'll look into the old man's ghost and the closed-off deep-sea fish booth rumors. After that, we'll go to the shops and finally have some ice cream. I think it's better to get the cookies and cream first. If you eat 2 times, you'll mess up your stomach and get fat. And you won't be able to wear a bathing suit. Oh, Himino, it's not fair for you to put it that way. It isn't fair. Himino is in the exercise club, so she will be fine. But for someone like me who doesn't exercise enough, it makes me stop and think. Having said I wanted to go to the pool, it is all the more important. Okay then, we'll stick with my plan. That was a delicious meal. Urged on by Himino, I decided to leave the ice cream shop for another time. And with that, I'm going to end the first episode here. I want to keep it to around 20 minutes because it's a visual novel and it's a lot of talking. So I don't really want to wear myself out talking-wise. If that makes sense, I hope you guys understand. So if you watch this far, I really appreciate it. Know that I do. And thank you so much. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to see more videos. And yeah, if you enjoyed, I hope to see you in part 2. And thank you so much again for watching. Bye.